Lesson 108.
Ropa.
Antonio, the word ropa is kind of a special word. Can you tell us a little bit about the way ropa translates over into English?
Yes, Bill, it translates to clothes. So basically, in English, we have a word that it's in its plural form, but its Spanish equivalent, it's not going to be a plural word. It's actually going to be a singular word. So ropa, every time you use any article in front of it, it's always going to be singular, as opposed to English. Clothes, in English, that's a plural word, and in Spanish, ropa, a singular word. So just have that in mind.
So it's going to be singular in Spanish, yet plural in English.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a verb with ropa, it'll be a singular verb. But then in our English translation, if we translate the word into clothes, that's plural. So we'll need to have a plural verb with clothes.
Yes, and the same for articles and all that stuff.
Okay, well, that's good to keep in mind. And we can help explain that during the exercises themselves.
By the way, ropa is going to be a feminine word also.
Right. Okay, in the last few lessons, we've been learning a lot about infinitives. And we have here in the lesson that they're going to see the infinitive ir. Ir means to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the infinitive form of the verb yo voy. I see a few other infinitives here in these exercises, such as comprar. Comprar means to buy.
Bill, I see caminar on exercise 3, which means to walk.
Okay. I also see tener, that means to have, correct?
Yes, Bill, and I also see beber, which means to drink.
Okay, so beber would be second conjugation.
Mm-hmm.
Caminar is first conjugation. Comprar is first conjugation. Tener is second conjugation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's one third conjugation infinitive in here, and that's ir.
Which we have here in exercise number 8.
Right, so that's really the only third conjugation infinitive that they're going to run into. Now, what about dormir? That's third conjugation.
That's also a third, yes.
So for right now, if you're reading this book, ir should be the only third conjugation infinitive that you know. Okay, let's take a look at our exercises. In number 1, yo quiero means I want. Comprar is an infinitive that means to buy. And ropa means clothes. So number 1 says, I want to buy clothes. In number 2, we have a question. Papa means dad. Quieres is the second person singular form of the verb yo quiero. So that will mean you want. Of course, since it's a question here, we'll really translate that as do you want. Comprar means to buy, and ropa means clothes. So number 2 will say, Dad, do you want to buy clothes? In number 3, nosotros no queremos means we do not want. Caminar means to walk. And a la tienda means to the store. So number 3 will say, we do not want to walk to the store. In number 4, nosotros queremos means we want. Tener is an infinitive that means to have. And un gato means a cat. So number 4 says, we want to have a cat. In number 5, we have a question. The subject here is ustedes, and the verb is tienen. That's the third person plural form of yo tengo. So ustedes and tienen together will say, y'all have. But it's a question, so we'll really translate it as, do y'all have? And hambre means hunger. So literally, number 5 will say, do y'all have hunger? But really, that's just an idiom, and it really will say, are y'all hungry? In number 6, we have another question, and this question contains formal speech. The subject here is usted. That's a formal way to say you. It's a special title of respect. And tiene is the verb. That's the third person singular form of yo tengo. Ordinarily, usted and tiene will say you have. But here it's a question, so we'll translate it as do you have? and un trabajo means a job. So number 6, in a formal way, we'll say, do you have a job? In number 7, la familia means the family. Del means of the. Senor Jones means Mr. Jones. So the first part of this sentence will say, the family of Mr. Jones. Of course, it would be better to say Mr. Jones's family. The verb here is va. That's the third person singular form of yo voy. So la familia del Senor Jones va will say, Mr. Jones's family goes. A la playa means to the beach, and a menudo means often. So number 7 will say, Mr. Jones's family goes to the beach often. In number 8, él quiere says he wants. Ir is an infinitive that means to go. That's the infinitive form of yo voy. And a la tienda says to the store. So number 8 will say, he wants to go to the store. In number 9, mi gato means my cat, and the verb here is trabaja. That's the third person singular form of the verb yo trabajo. So mi gato trabaja will say, my cat works. Of course, it's being negated by the adverb nunca, which means never. Pero means but. Siempre means always. And then lastly, we have an idiom, tiene hambre, which means he has hunger. So number 9 altogether will say, my cat never works, but he always has hunger. Of course, idiomatically, a better translation would be, my cat never works, but he is always hungry. In number 10, yo quiero means I want. Beber is an infinitive that means to drink. Agua means water. Porque means because. And tengo sed is an idiom that means I am thirsty. So number 10 will say, I want to drink water because I am thirsty.